Hey folks, welcome to Hank's True Barbecue. Now I'm real excited about this cook. One, I'm going to use my offset smoker again. I love this bad boy, but also we're going to cook smoked Iberico Rib Fingers. Talk about meat cat. Now I've done Iberico ribs before from the Spanish black-footed pig. It's really rich, well marbled, just full of flavor. And I found a recently new product at my local butcher. It's called Iberico Rib Fingers. So what is it really? Well, think of an average rack of ribs and you just trim off the bones, and what you have left is a bunch of meat strips, which kind of, I guess with a bit of fantasy, could resemble fingers. So that's what we're cooking. So Iberico rib meat strips. We're going to flavor them up with a good rub. I'm going to mix a custom blend today, caramelize it, smoke it, and just enjoy. I'm really doing this as a starter dish, but there are different ways of cooking it, of course. We're going to add some smoke in the smoker, and we're going to crank up the heat at the end to caramelize a bit. So stick around. So I'm cooking on my custom built offset smoker, Hank's True Smokers. If you want one, you can buy one from my website. Got all the firewood I need down here. It's going to be a relatively quick cook with barbecue terms, well, related to traditional low and slow. All oak wood today. Got some kindling cut up, ready to go. I'm going to build a fire in the firebox right here. See, I haven't cleaned out the ash from last time. Oh well, something to do before firing up the pit. Right, time to mix up a good old rub. For starters, I'm going to use my own brand, Hank's KC Royale Pork and Poultry. KC is for Kansas City, by the way, so this is my homage to the traditional Kansas City style barbecue. But we're also going to add Sumac. Sumac's like dried little red berries, really lemony, tangy, and I think this would be a great match for the Iberico Rib Pork Fingers. I'm thinking the reason I'm mixing this is because this contains lemon pepper already, but I want to give even more tang. And the thing is, as I keep saying, when it comes to pork meat, pork can take the flavor, and especially Iberico pork, which is even more well marbled and fatty. So I'm going to mix these 2-to-1 ratio. Let's get a jar out, and we're going to apply that good stuff to the rib fingers. That should, well, I'm going to add some more. I'm eyeballing this. You can use measurements if you want, or add even more sumac if you're a big fan. I'm going to use the rest of this. Good thing I have another bag lying around. This is really good stuff. All right, so that's the rub. I'm going to mix it up with a spoon, and we should be ready to prep the meat. All right, enough talk. This is what rib fingers look like. Just took them out the cryovac. Well, let's just get them out on the cutting board. So as you can see, you have the membrane on the back. We're just going to leave that. It's going to be way too tedious to trim it, so we're just going to cook these up as they are. But as you can see, there's still all that good Iberico marbling, so lots of fat, meaning lots of flavor. Just going to get our custom rub here with the sumac on. See if we can sprinkle on evenly. Make sure you turn it and cover all sides, hit them real good. I'm gonna do a third flip. Again, I want to get plenty of rub on these, mainly because I'm cooking them as a snack more than a main dish. So a little extra saltiness is good, a little extra citrus flavor is good. I love this big cutting board. I got this for cutting up briskets. It was cheap because I got it from a catering store, but I really like it. And even better is it didn't cost anything really, because it's no fancy brand or anything, but it's really thick, almost an inch, so really helps with cutting up briskets, pork butts, you name it. All right, but that's looking good. Just the final drizzle. Now I'm going to use a wire rack just because it's going to be way easier to move around all these rib fingers in one go when putting them in the smoker. All right, that should do it. I think these are ready to go. Let's light up that smoker. Man, look at that, catching on quickly today. A bit warmer than last time. Just keep adding some kindling and should be able to add some splits soon enough. Just gonna pre-warm a few here. This is really good about cooking with live fire, I mean wood. Oak wood in this case, because there's just an intense heat coming from firewood that you can't rival with charcoal. So and the smell from the oak wood is beautiful. So one more thing about flavor, like I've hit them up pretty good with lots of citrusy flavors, lots of tang, a bit of pepper. We're also going to add some sweetness. I'm going to use, when caramelizing at the end, so I'm going to use what in Sweden called dark bread syrup. Like dark syrup in this case is kind of like golden syrup, but darker and with lots more flavor. I guess a relevant comparison would be to compare brown sugar to muscovado sugar. Now, if you ever tasted muscovado sugar, you know it has a roasted, almost burnt flavor and so much deeper, and it's the same with this one. So I think it's fabulous. I use it for a lot of barbecue, and of course I'm going to put some on here. I'm not going to go over the top with sweetness, but I am going to add some at the end when caramelizing. But smoker is coming up to temp. You should be able to see that on the thermometer right here. So within 10 minutes we can get to cooking. Now look at that clean smoke. It's looking real good. We're getting the smoker warmed up, so time to add some meat and get some smoke flavor in there. So today's cooking temp is 120 to 130 Celsius, 250 to 265. Now you can see the advantage of using the wire rack. That should be good. Close the lid and give them smoke for, well, I think 45 minutes to an hour. I will check in a while and see how they progress. I'm looking for bark, of course, on this. I'm just gonna hang out back here for a while, feed the flames. See, I got the pre-warming logs going on. I got a few on top also, so nice. So we're about 35 minutes in, time for a quick peek. Ooh, that's looking good. Man, I'm gonna flip them just because. That's pretty sweet. Get back there in you. All right, I'm gonna give them a little more time and then we're gonna get to caramelizing. So 45-minute cook time. These are looking good. I'm gonna pull them out, start adding some. Oh man, look at the color. It's really just perfect. Gonna get gloves on. Just gonna add some of that syrup right here. See if we can. That should do it. Just gonna add a light drizzle here. Not go crazy with the sugar, but we're gonna have to get some of that on there for good flavor. See if we can flip some of them. Add just a bit of sugar on the other side too. Man, I'm not used to using gloves like that, but got burned too many times, so might as well. Yeah, I think that should be it. So time for some high heat searing. It's going to be the only time I recommend not using the water pan in my smokers. Otherwise, it should always be there. But let me get rid of the top shelf first. And the water pan goes out. Now we can slide these in. Let me just adjust the camera for you. So slide this little thing over here and we'll get closer to the high heat. I'm gonna put in a few more splits to crank up temp. Just gonna close the lid for now. We'll leave it like that for just a few minutes and flip a few times, and then they should be ready to eat. It's looking good. Got a good fire going, but Might as well throw in a few more. Man, that's gonna get some intense heat. All right, let's flip those rib fingers. Get some nice charring on those on the outside, but not gonna cook them for long. Just a few more minutes and they should be done. Oh man, the smell, this is good. All right, don't want to burn them. Let's pull them off real quick. There's some intense heat going on, so very nice. I like utilizing the offset for not only indirect cooking, but high heat cooking. So put them all in a bowl. This is what it looks like. Got some fried onions, but one of my favorites, sriracha mayo. Absolutely in love with that right now, but man, these are looking good. Check it out. Nice caramelization, really moist meat. I'm gonna have to try this. So time to sample these. They look really good, like 45-minute smoke and then a few minutes of searing with that dark red syrup. Really tender. I like the acidity that the sumac brings, so the combination of the traditional pork rub with some sumac is perfect. Just gonna dunk it into that sriracha mayo. Couldn't be better. I like this fast cook on an offset. Nice appetizer snack. Get some of that fried onion. Highly recommended. Alright, so the pit has cooled off. I've enjoyed some seriously good Iberico Rib Fingers. If you haven't tried it, go purchase some and smoke them. Whether you use the kettle, the offset, or any other cooker, doesn't matter. Just get some smoke flavor in there, caramelize it, and just dig in. Alright, see you guys next episode. I'm out.